Dear students, today's lecture is on leadership and agents of agricultural extension. Introduction. The whole extension process is dependent upon the extension agent, who is the critical element in all extension activities. Indeed, the effectiveness of the extension agent can often determine the success or failure of an extension program. The extension agent has to work with people in a variety of different ways. It is often an intimate relationship and one which demands much tact and resourcefulness. The agent inevitably works with people whose circumstances are different from his own. In his extension work, the agent basically intervenes in the life of the farmers in a particular area. The extension agent is a change agent. He intervenes to bring about change in order to help improve the lives of the farmers and their families. The role of the agent. There are no models of an agent's role which are applicable to all situations. An agent must consider each situation individually and adopt a position or role suitable to that situation. However, according to Food and Agricultural Organization (FAO), there are two key roles of the agent, such as knowledge, communication, innovation, and educator, facilitator, catalyst. Knowledge, communication, innovation. The extension agent is responsible for providing the knowledge and information that will enable a farmer to understand and make a decision about a particular innovation, and then for communicating that knowledge to that farmer. In this role, the agent is seen as a vehicle of knowledge, usually of a technical nature, and as a teacher who instructs farmers in the use of this knowledge. The agent is formally trained for this position and is provided with the technical knowledge and information which he must then communicate to the farmers. In this role, the agent's work is usually highly structured and based on existing government policies and programs of rural development. Educator, facilitator, catalyst. In the role of educator, facilitator, or catalyst, which the agent may need to perform in the course of his duties, the agent is associated less with the knowledge communication aspect and more with the farmer's personal development. The agent is less concerned with specific programs or targets and more with helping the farmers to gain confidence, to organize themselves, and to begin to get involved in extension activities. The agent's role is essentially to help support and actively encourage farmers to develop their own initiatives and to begin to tackle their own problems. Knowledge and personal skills. Two other important issues are the types of knowledge that an agent must have and the personal skills required of him to do his job effectively. Again, in extension practice throughout the world, there is considerable diversity on these two issues, reflecting the variety of situations in which agents work. How the knowledge and personal skills required by the agent or influenced by the role the agent performs will be considered. Four main areas of knowledge are important for the extension agent and form the basis of extension training. 1. Technical. The agent must adequately train in the technical aspects of his work and have a good working knowledge of the main elements of the agricultural system in which he is working. 2. Rural life. This includes anthropological and sociological studies of the rural area where he is working, local traditions, practices, culture, and values. 3. Policy. The agent should be familiar with the main legislation of government or other institutional policies which affect rural areas, development programs, credit programs, and bureaucratic and administrative procedures. 4. Adult education. Since extension is an educational process, the agent must be familiar with the main approaches to adult education and group dynamics, and with the techniques of developing farmer participation in extension activities. It should be noted that these four areas of knowledge can be dealt with by a training program when the agent can be provided with the detailed information available in the four areas. FAO provides a list of the main areas of skills required of an extension agent. 1. Organization and planning. The extension agent must be able to plan extension work, to organize its implementation, and generally to manage and effectively control an extension office and its activities. 2. Communication. An extension agent must, above all, be a communicator, both verbally and non-verbally, and this skill is the basis of all extension activity. 3. Analysis and diagnosis. The extension agent must be able to examine situations which confront him, recognize and understand the problems that exist, and propose courses of action. 4. Leadership. The extension agent should inspire confidence and trust in the farmers he serves, set them an example, and take the lead in initiating activities. Number 5. Initiative. The extension agent may often have to work in isolation and unsupervised. He must have the initiative and confidence to do so without depending upon guidance and support from his superiors. Working with local leaders. The extension agent should take great care to develop the qualities mentioned above. His own relationship with local leaders will also be important, and he should always try to be available to support and encourage their work. There are four main aspects of working with local leaders which the agent should keep in mind. Number 1. Inform local leaders of extension activities and proposals for new programs and keep them supplied with extension literature. 2. Visit them as often as is necessary, enough to ensure that they are not isolated or left on their own. Try to make the visits regular so that the leader can build them into his own work routine. Third, train the local leaders in the aspects of extension activities with which they may be unfamiliar. Formal training sessions can be set up at which the leaders will learn about new practice, how to run a demonstration, or how to hold a farmers' meeting. 4. Encourage local leaders to take the initiative and to begin to act with some independence. The more they can become recognized and effective, the better chance the extension agent will have of making an impact in the areas. An extension agent who has the use of the services of a group of good, efficient local leaders has a tremendous additional resource at his disposal and will be in a far better position to get extension work going in that area than if he has to work alone and unsupported. Problem of working with local leaders. While working with local leaders can be of great benefit to the extension service, there are a number of potential problems the agent should be aware of. The agent should keep a watchful eye both on his own relationship with the local leaders and also on the performance of the leaders at field level. If the leaders are carefully selected and supervised, few difficulties will arise. Yet, it would be wise for the extension agent to keep a watch out for the following potential problems. 1. If the agent spends too much time or concentrates a lot of effort on one or more of the local leaders, then the issue of favoritism may arise. 2. The local leaders function as contact farmers who are expected to pass on the knowledge they have received from the agent. This flow of knowledge from the leader to the other farmers does not always work, and the agent should pay particular attention to seeing that it does. If the leader is not functioning as a contact farmer, then the agent will need to investigate the reasons. Third, some local leaders may become overconfident and domineering and use their favored position with the extension agent for their own individual gain. 4. Some local leaders may be less capable than the others and may make mistakes and give wrong advice to their fellow farmers. The agent should always ensure that a leader is well prepared before giving him responsibility for extension activities. These examples of working with local leaders are included, not to suggest that they will always occur, but to remind the extension agent to keep a watchful eye on his use of local leaders and to be ready to respond to such problems if they do arise. Conclusion. The extension agent is the key element in the whole extension process. Without an agent in the field to guide, direct and supervise local extension activities, there would be no extension service available to the farmers. The agent's role and relationship with the farmers are the critical aspects of this process, and things cannot always be expected to go smoothly. An effective agent spends time in developing the skills and attributes of the farmers themselves and does not merely concentrate on extension projects. Gets out to visit and meet farmers and does not become an office bureaucrat. Encourages local initiative and self-reliance and does not adopt a paternalistic attitude towards farmers. Plans for the long-term development of his area and does not only seek quick results. Finally, the work of an extension agent demands the particular qualities of dedication, humility, and hard work, and extension services should ensure that an agent is thoroughly prepared before he begins his extension activities. Thank you.